Welcome to the official Gem Blenders gameplay demo. For the best experience, first check out the rules page at gemblenders.com to familiarize yourself with how to play. In a normal game, players start with 25 hit points and play 2 to 3 rounds. However, in this abbreviated game, each player will start with just 15 hit points, so you get the feel for gameplay as quickly as possible. Players start by sitting across from each other, removing their hero cards from their decks, and playing them face down on their fields, in left, center, right, and back position. Keep in mind that the back position hero cannot attack or be attacked, but it still may use effects. Players then draw 6 cards from their shuffled decks. It's important to get at least a couple of gems in your starting hand. You may shuffle your hand back into your deck and redraw once if you wish. Once both players are happy with their hands, they'll flip their heroes face up and start playing. Since player 1 is going first, they do not draw a card to start their turn. However, they do have some heroes with first turn effects that can be activated right away. First, player 1 uses Carter's effect Spoil to draw a card from their deck. Then they activate Selma's effect, Blend Database, to search their deck for a Hail Dominator. Every time a player searches their deck for a card, they must shuffle their deck afterward. Now player 1 equips Carter with a Lucio gem, which counts as their allotted gem for the turn. This gem also activates Carter's 1 defense. Player 1 passes the turn, and player 2 draws to start their turn. Player 2 begins by equipping Judith with a Pyro Gem, which activates her first turn effect, Gem Charm. Player 2 uses Gem Charm to search their deck for a Nocturna Gem and adds it to their hand. Player 2 passes the turn, and player 1 draws. Player 1 begins by equipping Gloria with an Electro Gem, activating her effect Cross-Reference. Player 1 uses the effect to discard the blend Electron from their hand. Electron is a level 2 blend because it uses 2 gems, meeting the criteria of Gloria's effect. Player 1 searches their deck for an Arrow Gem, adds it to their hand, and passes the turn. Player 2 draws to begin their turn. They equip Francisco with a Nocturna Gem, activating his effect Research Distribution. This effect allows player 2 to move gems to or from Francisco up to 3 times per turn. Player 2 moves the Pyro Gem from Judith to Francisco, and then moves both the Pyro Gem and the Nocturna Gem to Elaine, equaling 3 total gem movements. Now that Elaine has gems, her effect Expensive Earrings is activated, giving her +2 attack because she's in left position. Player 2 attacks with Elaine, hitting Carter for 2, and he blocks 1 damage from his activated defense. Player 1 takes 1 damage to their HP. Player 2 then plays the blend Mage on Elaine. In order to play a blend, the hero must meet the blend's level and gem requirements. Since Elaine is a level 2 hero and is equipped with a Pyro Gem and Nocturna Gem, we're good to go. Player 2 then activates Mage's effect Offering, discarding a Capra Gem from their hand to search for 2 Electro Gems. Player 2 passes the turn, and player 1 draws. Player 1 begins by playing the action Blend Call, and searches their deck for 3 Angels. Then player 1 equips Carter with an Arrow Gem, and blends him into an Angel. Now that Carter has 2 attack, player 1 attacks for 2 straight across to Elaine. Since Elaine has 0 defense, player 2 takes 2 damage to their HP. Player 1 deblends Angel to restore Carter's defense and passes the turn. Player 2 draws to start their turn. Player 2 equips Francisco with a Capra Gem, once again activating his effect Research Distribution. Then player 2 deblends Mage. Player 2 uses Research Distribution to move the Nocturna Gem from Elaine to Francisco, and then move both the Nocturna Gem and the Capra Gem to Yoshi. Player 2 blends Yoshi into a Ram. Ram's effect Big Horns gives +1 attack because there is a Capra Gem in player 2's discard. Finally, player 2 declares an attack with both Elaine and Yoshi. All heroes that do attack must attack simultaneously. Elaine attacks Carter for 2, which he blocks 1 of, and Yoshi attacks Selma for 2, which all goes through. Player 1 takes 3 damage to their HP. Player 2 passes the turn, and Player 1 draws. Player 1 begins by using Gloria's effect to discard a River Angel, and search for another Arrow Gem. Player 1 then equips Carter with an Aqua Gem and blends a River Angel. Player 1 attacks for 2 with Carter. Player 2 takes 2 damage to their HP. Player 1 passes the turn, and Player 2 draws. Player 2 equips Francisco with an Electro Gem. Now that River Angel is out, Elaine's attack won't go through, so Player 2 attacks just with Yoshi. Player 1 takes 2 damage to their HP. Player 2 passes the turn, and Player 1 draws. Player 1 starts by playing the action Draw, putting Glacier on the bottom of their deck to draw 2 cards. Then Player 1 uses a Blend Search to search their deck for a Glacier. Player 1 uses Gloria's effect to discard Glacier and search their deck for a Cryo Gem. Player 1 equips Carter with that Cryo Gem. Player 1 then de-blends the River Angel and blends a Flurry Shifter. Player 1 discards an Arrow Gem from hand to use Flurry Shifter's effect Snowdrift to rotate Player 2's field clockwise. Player 1 de-blends Flurry Shifter, blends an Angel, and uses its effect Wind Gust to switch Carter with Selma. Now that Carter is in center position, Player 1 de-blends Angel and plays Hail Dominator. Hail Dominator's effect Vantage Point gives it +3 attack. Player 1 attacks with Carter to Elaine, and Player 2 takes 5 damage to their HP. Player 1 passes the turn, and Player 2 draws. Player 2 equips Yoshi with a Terra Gem. Player 2 de-blends Ram, and then uses Francisco's ability to move the Pyro Gem from Elaine to Francisco, and then both the Pyro Gem and the Electro Gem to Yoshi. Player 2 blends Rage Domesticator. Rage Domesticator's effect Rampage inverts its attack and defense on the turn that it's played, giving it 6 attack. Player 2 attacks with Yoshi to Ashanti, but Player 1 uses a block attack, canceling the attack altogether. Player 2 passes the turn, and Player 1 draws. Player 1 starts by attacking with Carter to Elaine, and Player 2 takes 5 damage. Player 1 de-blends Hail Dominator, and then plays the action Organize, allowing them to move all gems on their field to Ashanti. Player 1 blends Ashanti into a Stormweaver, gaining some solid defense and passes the turn. Player 2 draws a card. Player 2 plays a Struggle Switch to switch Player 1's Ashanti to back position. Then Player 2 uses a Return to bring Rage Domesticator back to hand. Player 2 blends a Bluster Mage and uses its effect Summoning Spell to discard an Electro Gem from hand and search for the blend Flare Launcher. Player 2 de-blends Bluster Mage and then blends Flare Launcher. Then Player 2 uses a Gem Search to search their deck for a Capro Gem. Player 2 uses Flare Launcher's effect Missile to discard a Capro Gem from hand and inflict 3 non-attack damage to Player 1's HP. Finally, player 2 deblends Flare Launcher and plays Rage Domesticator once again. Its effect Rampage activates, and player 2 attacks with Yoshi to Gloria for 6 damage to win the game. Wow, that was a close game. Thanks for checking out this demo. I can assure you that it's just the beginning of the depth and strategy that Gem Blenders has to offer. With higher HP totals and multiple rounds, along with hundreds of blends and heroes, you'll find many different synergies to build decks around. To learn more about Gem Blenders, make sure to check out the rest of our YouTube channel and join our Discord server. You can also purchase Gem Blenders at gemblenders.com.